Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. Welcome to the best emulation, open source, gaming, and tech news channel on YouTube. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off with a quick update for Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Ryujinx. So as of version 1.1.1034, Baton Kratos 1 and 2 HD Remaster is now playable. And Star Ocean the Second Story R demo now boots. Moving on, and we're quickly talking about Sony, and this is a big one, and it's right from SonyInteractive.com. I'll drop a link to it in the description below. It says here, Sony Interactive President and CEO Jim Ryan has made the decision to retire in March 2024 after almost 30 years with the PlayStation business. Now, Jim Ryan says, "I've relished the opportunity to have a job I love in a very special company, working with great people and incredible partners. But I found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and working in North America." Now, I've seen a lot of mixed reactions on this one. Some people are saying it's a great thing and Sony's going to get better because of it. And some people are saying it's a bad thing and Sony is going to get worse. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on how you feel about this one. Next up here, we're still talking about some big news. Valve has released Counter-Strike 2, and it's a free upgrade to CSGO. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link to the Steam page and the launch trailer in the description below, and feel free to check them out. On a side note here, if you've got a Steam Deck, it's listed as playable. Moving on, and we're still talking about Steam here, and this time about Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition, which will be heading to Steam in 2024. The Steam page is already up and you can wishlist it if you want. I'll drop a link to it in the description below. Unfortunately, we don't have a firm release date at this point in time, but it's nice it's heading to Steam. And speaking about release dates, next up we're talking about the MetaQuest 3, and it was announced today that the MetaQuest 3 is releasing on October 10th of this year. There are two different versions, a 128 gig version for $500, and a whopping 512 gig version for $650. This is a VR and mixed reality headset. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure it's my cup of tea just yet, but if it's yours and you're looking forward to it, let me know in the comments below. Next up here, if you're a fan of Devil May Cry, or anime, or Netflix, you might be excited about this news. A brand new Devil May Cry anime series has been announced, and it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, I've got no release date just yet, but I'll drop a link to the trailer in the description below, and feel free to check it out. Next up, we're talking about Payday 3, and this game has had a pretty rough go at it so far with its always online requirement and server issues. It appears they've tried to rectify these issues numerous times, but haven't fully succeeded. And it's rumored that they're looking at removing the always online requirement. For some context here, Payday 3 launched not too long ago on September 21st, and it already has over 27,000 reviews with an overall rating of mostly negative on Steam. Not too good. But speaking about good, next up we're talking about Linux Mint, specifically LMDE, which stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Linux Mint Debian Edition, depending on how you want to interpret that. Anyways, LMDE 6 Fei was released today. Now, for those who may be unaware, Linux Mint is built on Ubuntu, and LMDE is not. The whole purpose of LMDE is to ensure that Linux Mint would be able to continue to deliver the same user experience, and how much work would be involved if Ubuntu was to ever disappear. On top of that, they say that LMDE is one of their development targets to guarantee the software they develop is compatible outside of Ubuntu. And I would argue the future target state of Linux Mint might be LMDE, but I could be wrong. Anyways, here LMDE 6 is based on Debian 12 Bookworm and has a Linux 6.1 LTS kernel. Moving on, and we're talking about a ROM hack, and if you're a fan of Pokemon Red or Blue for the Game Boy, you might be a fan of this ROM hack called Shin Pokemon. It has fixes for over 200 bugs, improved AI behaviors, upgraded gameplay for the Game Boy Color, quality of life updates, and secrets and hidden super bosses. And on top of that, there's an experimental 60 FPS mode and a whole bunch more. This is a labor of love. It's been worked on for over 5 years, and I'll drop a link to it in the description below. And on a quick side note here, if you wanted to see Shin Pokemon in action, I'll drop a link to a helpful YouTube video in the description below as well. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state. That is kind of freaky, kind of cool.